Hello and welcome to the April 19th weekly JupyterLab call. Today we have 15 people on the call. I'm going to assume that has something to do with conferences and not content. But the agenda is looking kind of sparse, so if you have something to talk about, today is a good time. And please sign in and add an item to the agenda. And if it's going to take more than a few minutes, just add it to the additional discussion section at the bottom. But right now, we only have 2 people, and the first one is Andrew, so I will pass it on to him.
Hi, everyone. So we have upcoming 4.0.0 release, candidate release, and then 4.0.0 release. And there is a lot of technical things to take care of. So I wanted to ask everyone, and especially people who have write access, to participate, actively participate in the PR review process in the next weeks and in the next month, singular, not plural, especially active, so to speak, because core reviewer group, I think, would be more busy than usual. So yeah, if you have an opportunity, please do. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, Andrew. And yeah, please. Okay. Next person on the agenda is Brett.
Yeah, sorry, I'm gonna be long again. So some update on JupyterLab 4. I want to second Andrew, and thanks a lot to Andrew and the others, Mike, Jason, Jeremy, all the others that are participating a lot to the fix of issues and the review and stuff like that. So on my side, I've been busy with other people of my team, like Florence and Nicolas, about the extension example. So they are all ported except the collaborative one, because we want to have a more advanced version of that one. It's not due to a technical reason. I also integrated the MIME type renderer. There were a JupyterLab MP4 example that was a separate repository. It basically was pretty old. So I decided to move it to the example to make it more easy to find and also more easy to not forget when we need to upgrade those examples. I have worked on also another one that's about adding a new code mirror extension and adding notification. PR are not yet open, but the branches are already there. Basically, the PR are not yet open because also I switches to use the new copy template or to use them for all examples. And also I have rebooted a project that was existing about generating VS Code debug config as a template. So basically, it's also a copy template now, and it will add debug configuration for VS Code extensions right in VS Code, and also for people that like using Docker developments, then you will set up also what's needed. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want, I can try to do a live demo, but brace yourself, it's gonna crash. But I can do that as we don't have much point. But maybe after, if other people want to do that, we can do that in the additional discussion.
Does anyone have anything they want to talk about, or should Fred do a demo? Go for it.
Okay. Let me know if my video or my sound get too weird. I don't have such a great connection right now. So let's do a simple MIME render example. So the new tools, it's called Copier, and the syntax is quite close to cookie cutter. So you have to provide the URL of the GitHub repository that contains the template, and then you have to provide the target in which you want to store the file. So here I'm just gonna be storing the new files in the current directory. So it's gonna clone the stuff and then ask me a bunch of questions. So one of the nice things I said last week is that you can actually write a real question. So here it's like, what's your extension kind? It's a bit more user-friendly than just having kind, provide me a kind, what does it mean or whatever. And there is, as you can see, a new MIME renderer thing now, because I've merged also, like, there is no more multiple repository with that template. You can just start any kind of extension. So I'm gonna pick up MIME renderer. So Jupyter test, dummy stuff, we don't care. The reason why also I could merge the MIME renderer thing is because we now can support conditional attribute in the templates. So for instance, normally when you use the template, no, the next question after the description is, do you want to does your extension have settings? Because MIME renderer cannot have settings by default. That question is dropped, so it's only asking directly for binder. I want to add text. Let's do anything, whatever here. And now comes also questions that are only for MIME renderer. So that would not have been possible in cookie cutter to merge the two because of that. Let's call it anything. Let's call it GP test. That's actually the other one. Up. And so it's just like printing at the end everything that he has created. So this is like what was done with cookie cutter basically. The advantage of it is now if I look at the content also, I have, sorry, I need to show so what's hidden. There is a new file that's created by this copy stuff. And what it's doing is just storing all the answer that was given, and also giving the hash of the template and the source of the template. And the reason is because it has an update method, and that basically here I can run it, but there is, of course, you need to, there is one condition: you need to be in a in a Git repository. And then you can run the update. Here, the update won't do anything because, so basically now it's gonna check. Oh, he's gonna ask again. Oh yeah, maybe. I didn't try before what will happen. So, but basically, so it will replay the template with the latest version, and it will change the default value to be the one answered previously. So that's what you can see. So, and then it's gonna print you like if files were identical to the one from the template, if new files were added, and then sometimes if it needs to overwrite things, it's gonna ask you, do you want to overwrite it or not? And if it fails, you're gonna get a rejection or rejected file, like a .reg, AREJ, as you have with Git when you get conflict. So that's basically it. And if so what you can do is then you can use, you can run afterwards the other one to get the setup for VS Code. that's not the right path. That's JupyterLab. JupyterLab is gonna ask you some question, but basically there are very few of them. Oh yeah, and I did a mistake. I forget. There is one thing that I should have mentioned here is that, so here I did a mistake. I did not say that I want the answer to be stored in another file. So that's why it says that, oh, there is a conflict and he's override the stuff. So, but it's written on the README. That's the only thing you need to pay attention when you use when you combine multiple templates. But here for the demo, it's not so important. And so now if I start VS Code and I'm gonna switch to VS Code for the share. So it's a new folder. I need to trust it. Come on, make it bigger. And it didn't pick up because I was not trusting the guy. So if I close it and reopen it, normally. Yeah, so it's detecting because with the other VS Code template, so we have the dev container stuff. So it's gonna pop up and propose to reopen to develop the extension in a container. It's should be pretty quick because I've run it, hopefully. So yeah, so basically you can look and tune the container through this Docker file. It's also to specify a couple of extensions, so you can see all recommendation and install them. And once you are in the container, so in VS Code, for people that don't know, it's written on the bottom left that you are running in a container. Basically, you can do as usual. So that means you will do first a pip install -e. Hopefully my internet is not too slow. So I can show, so it has set up a debug job for JupyterLab. I tried to set up the one of Firefox, I failed, but I succeeded with the Chrome one. So at least there is one. And the advantage also is that in the recent version of VS Code, you don't need an additional extension for debugging in Chrome. It's right built in. And if I open, just for people interested, the launch stuff, so basically it's just what in the repository before. There is was launching the server, and the other one was Chrome to the right page. And there is a compound one, that's the one that's displayed to just start the two tests directly. Come on, run. And so basically the debug in VS Code is to set breakpoints directly in your code. But I need it to be built first to show that. I don't know if people have questions when waiting for the build. Maybe there's some in the chat.
Yeah, there was some conversation in the chat about multiple extension types. And so Mike said he never knows whether he should select frontend or server. when it's gonna have both. And Nick describes that you can actually run copier multiple times to get both because it is patching. But I guess what's the way what's the officially sanctioned way? You're writing a front end and back end extension, and I don't know, maybe it also ships a MIME renderer.
If you do all of them, actually it's tough because there I think I will ask Nick about, because I know that for MIME renderer, normally it's a special entries in the package JSON. There's not a regular extension. And I think if you want to mix everything, you still need to say that it's not a MIME extension, it's a regular extension, but that provides a MIME renderer or something like that. It's a tough thing to do, I think, like for beginners to have everything in the same.
What about the simpler case where you just want to have a front end extension and a server extension?
Then it's server extension, yeah. Basically, server extension is it's a front end and a back end.
Okay. Anyone
So
else? Questions, comments? This is pretty cool.
If I try to run it, so I won't share my old desktop because I have a pretty big screen. But so you'll have to trust me if it works or not. So right now I have a it's not supported. Oh, I forget to install one of the extension. Oh. VS Code is informing. Oh yeah, no, it's because I disabled it. Okay, let's re-enable it. So if I go to debug, then I press the debug stuff. So come on, why don't you want to use Python?
Well, while we're waiting for Docker or whatever the hell it is, yeah. So a single in cookie cutter, you just get one folder, and then everything inside of that is the thing. In copier, you've got a much more flexible setup, so you can have sub commands inside of it, and it knows how to take care of multiple things that you add. So this is again why I think that instead of just saying, well, there was cookie cutter, now we're not cookie cutting anymore. Now we're doing, we really should think about this as an actual thing that we ship as a Jupyter lab extension, sub command thing, whatever, or I guess it would have to be outside of that because lab extension is controlled by Jupyter server or by JupyterLab server or whatever. But having to copy and paste a particular Git URL in and knowing a particular, we can do a little better than that. We can give somebody something that you pip install this one thing and then you need Node somehow, and then off you go. Or if you're on Conda or in one of these fancy containers, you just need to have that one tool in your outer development environment. And that's not one that you can automatically provision just because, this doesn't automatically install cookie cutter for you or doesn't install copier for you or whatever. But yeah, if you still got to go learn a whole bunch of other stuff and the intricacies of it, then I feel like it's just like trading Tornado for Fast API, right? You're just doing another thing.
Thanks, Nick. Just for people that have followed what happened, so you have seen in the bottom there is the log of the Jupyter server, and so you cannot see JupyterLab because it's another window, and I won't share my old desktop because it's going to be messy for lots of people. So basically, on JupyterLab, what I did is I created a file with the GP test extension that was defined for the MIME time renderer, and I tried to open it, and so I'm in debug mode, so I'm blocked in the constructor as I light it, and so you can use VS Code to look at the stuff. Like, I mean, it's debug. So yeah, that was it for the demo.
That was awesome.
This is nice.
I was thinking about what Nick said and wondering, what if there was a very minimal Python package like Jupyter extend or something? You pip install that and you get the command Jupyter extend, and what that actually does is literally just invoke copier with the correct URL and asks all the questions and stuff. But the entry for end users is to pip install Jupyter extend and then run the command Jupyter extend. And that way we kind of hide it as an implementation detail that it's copier. And it sort of answers some of Nick's concerns, but it's like a trivial app and doesn't really require much maintenance.
Yeah, I think it's a good path forward, and I definitely agree with everything that Nick has said. We could make that more friendly, and for example, if we combine multiple templates like VS Code stuff, we can hide all that complexity, just asking prompts to the user, and everything will be hidden. And if in the future, for any reason, we decide even we want to change the template engine to something else, then we can, and the command can stay the same, hopefully. So yeah.
Kind of the way, I mean, different than how we ship JLPM, but still similar in that we can keep the commands that you write as a sort of a contract between implementations.
Right, and you can even we could even get away with things like migration templates, right? And that copier is not going to help you with necessarily, but migrate my extension from 3 to 4, bam, or migrate my extension from, I don't know, MB Classic to 4 or 5 or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of stuff where we can write docs all day, but this is the kind of stuff people can actually use, you know, get the job done. Yeah, I'll shut up.
Now, I was just wanting to say that Copier has some features about migration. You can add migration script and task script. So basically, migration script are before we're rendering the template, and task are for follow-up action. But I haven't looked at much. I mean, the task, yes, but migration, not. Yeah, but anyway, I think having a single tool that we advertise as the tool recommended to deal with authoring extension in the Jupyter world it's a good thing. Yeah.
Cool, great, thanks for demoing. Anyone else? Reaction, question, comment, or should we move on? Okay. Jason W.
Hey, everyone. I just had a quick logistical question about JupyterCon because my team's going to be doing a poster. Is there a place where we can ship or send a PDF ahead of time to have posters printed on site so we don't have to travel with the bulky poster tube?
I don't know. That's a great question. How about a generic? Is there a place to post JupyterCon related questions?
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that as well, because I had filed a couple of issues against the JupyterCon 2023 repository, but I didn't really see a lot of attention being paid to that repo.
So maybe we
I
can.
am in JupyterCon planning Slack group. I can ask both of these questions there. And
Thank you so much, Ely.
Mhm.
Get that. Yeah, thank you. Cool. All right. Mike, do you want to talk about this additional discussion item since we don't have any other agenda items?
It's just a quick heads up that NPM and GitHub integration has been released, which allows to verify from which repository and which specific GitHub action release was made, which hopefully will help with integrity checks and some security hardening. And maybe we should discuss whether to adopt that sometime soon, but it's probably not going to be today because it was just released.
Cool. Thanks for the heads up and thanks for the link. All right, last call. If anyone wants to talk about something on the recorded portion of the call. Otherwise, I will stop recording. So I'll give you a second. Okay, cool. I'm going to stop the recording. Brace yourselves.